Heartwarming discovery, Billionaire's life-changing moment when he saw his maid eating in the rain. The storm raged outside as Marcus Bennett sped through the streets in his sleek black SUV, the rain clawing at the windows like 1,000 tiny fingers. That day had been grueling. His tech empire was expanding, but with growth came the weight of pressure. He had everything: wealth, status, a sprawling mansion nestled in a gated community. Yet there was a hollow space inside, echoing with loneliness. The sound of rain was deafening, drowning out his thoughts of profit margins and boardroom politics. As he turned a corner, something caught his eye. A fleeting glance, a small figure hunched beneath a tattered umbrella. It was Rosa, his maid. The sight of her struggling against the storm hit him like a slap to the face. Here she was, drenched and shivering, savoring a meager sandwich, while he was on his way to a lavish dinner with colleagues that would overflow with gourmet options. His heart tightened. "What am I doing?" he thought. Rosa was not just a maid, she was a single mother, fighting tooth and nail to keep her family afloat. Watching her fight through the drizzle brought a wave of guilt crashing over him. He had always measured success with dollar signs and trophies, but here was a woman embodying a different kind of strength. As he pulled over, his instincts clamored at him. "Keep going," said the voice of privilege. But another voice whispered, "Help her." The internal battle raged as he stepped outside, letting the rain soak through his suit. The cold stung him, and he felt uncomfortably exposed, vulnerable in a way his carefully curated life rarely allowed. "Rosa," he called out, his voice barely audible over the downpour. Her head snapped up, surprise painting her face. She glanced toward him, confusion mingling with gratitude. "Mr. Bennett," she stammered, her voice faltering. In that moment, something deep within him shifted. They stood in the storm, two very different worlds colliding. He offered her his large umbrella, and her eyes widened in shock. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue." As Rosa sheltered beneath the umbrella, he learned about her talent for crafting handmade jewelry. "It's something I do when I can," she said, a hint of pride creeping into her voice. There was a fire in her spirit that Marcus admired, but it was cloaked in a layer of desperation. He invited her to the community event he was planning, hoping to showcase her work. But when the gala flopped spectacularly, he was left standing alone amid the wreckage of his expectations. Doubts clawed at him. What was it all for? Amidst his luxurious life, he had discovered an undeniable truth: the true measure of worth was in kindness, connection, and lifting each other up. As the storm raged on outside, he glanced at Rosa and thought about how she had ignited something within him. A spark of hope amid the darkness. A sense of unity waiting to blossom. They needed to face the crowd together, not as two separate worlds, but as one, the embodiment of resilience and compassion. The rain poured harder again, mirroring the tumult inside him. As he prepared to step into the storm, he pondered the journey ahead. Could he truly embrace this change? Or would he slip back into the shadows of his old life? Marcus took a deep breath, feeling the chill of the rain seep into his skin. He glanced at Rosa, still sheltered beneath his umbrella, her eyes wide with both uncertainty and hope. The moment hung between them, electric and charged. As the raindrops pelted around, he realized he couldn't walk away from this. "Not now. Rosa," he said with newfound determination, "let us not wait for the next gala. Let us create something together. What if we set up a small booth at the local craft market this weekend? You can showcase your jewelry there." Her face lit up momentarily, only to be shadowed by doubt. "Mr. Bennett, I don't know if anyone would be interested." Her voice trembled slightly as if she worried that he were making a promise he couldn't keep. Marcus took a step closer, steadying his voice. You deserve to be seen. Your talent is real. I believe in it. Just like I believe in you. The words felt powerful, resonating in a part of him he hadn't known existed, a place that wanted to uplift and inspire. She hesitated for a heartbeat, glancing away as if weighing the risk against her dreams. What if it doesn't work out? She whispered. What if I fail? Failure is just a stepping stone, he replied softly. It's like this storm, it can seem daunting, but afterward, there's always a rainbow. We all just need a chance to shine. The sincerity in his voice tugged at her heart. For a moment, it was just the two of them, standing defiantly against the storm. A small nod from Rosa was all it took, a flicker of readiness, a spark that ignited hope in Marcus's chest. Let us meet tomorrow to plan, he said, excitement bubbling within him. We can figure out logistics, pricing, everything. I'll help you every step of the way. Rosa's eyes glimmered with a mix of disbelief and gratitude. Thank you, Mr. Bennett. This means the world to me and my children. As the rain began to taper off, he realized it wasn't just about showcasing her jewelry. It felt bigger, like giving her a voice, a platform. In that moment, with the radiance of hope warming them, he made a silent vow: he would support her in ways he never had before. The next day came quickly, the sun breaking through the clouds, illuminating their path forward. They sat together at a small cafe, poring over ideas. Over cups of steaming coffee, Rosa shared her inspirations, her hands animated as she spoke. Marcus found himself captivated not only by her craftsmanship but by her vision for a better life. He picked up a delicate bracelet, its charm reflecting the light. This is beautiful, he said, turning it over in his hands. You could tell stories with your pieces. Their laughter filled the air, a sweet balm to last night's tensions. But as the excitement built, so did an undercurrent of anxiety. Marcus's mind raced with memories of his high-stakes world, strategy meetings, business deals, numbers. Could he navigate this new path without reverting to old habits? Every joyous step with Rosa felt like a step into unknown territory. Yet, the thought of letting her down was a weight he couldn't bear. He had to get this right, not just for her, but for himself. He knew the journey ahead would be filled with challenges, doubts, and difficult decisions. As they packed up after their meeting, Rosa's eyes shone with a combination of hope and concern. What if they don't like my work? Marcus reached for her hand, squeezing it gently. We'll face it together, no matter what happens. And just as they were about to leave, a familiar voice echoed across the cafe. Well, if it isn't Marcus Bennett. He turned to see an old acquaintance, Ray, striding toward them. What are you doing here? Fancy meeting you at a cozy little spot like this. As Marcus exchanged pleasantries with Ray, he felt a wave of unease wash over him. Would this encounter threaten what he was trying to build with Rosa? The walls he had put up around his life were suddenly in jeopardy, and the thought filled him with dread. The stakes were rising, and the world was watching. Would he have the courage to stand tall for both himself and Rosa, or would he let the past pull him back into its grasp? The answer seemed just out of reach as he locked eyes with her, willing the connection they'd forged to be strong enough for whatever was coming. Marcus felt the tension in the air as Ray drew closer, the casual smile on his face stirring a storm of memories within Marcus. They had been friends once, sharing laughter over drinks and sharing secrets in the shadows of corporate triumphs. But Ray also represented a world that Marcus had been slowly unraveling himself from, a world that thrived on ambitions, connections, and expectations that often clashed with his heart. Hey, Ray, Marcus said, forcing a smile even as doubt gnawed at him. He briefly glanced at Rosa, her expression flickering between curiosity about who this man was, and worry at how he might affect their budding plans. Is this your new project? Ray said, his eyes darting towards Rosa. The way he said it made it sound like an insult, as if he were judging her worth with just a glance. And Marcus could feel the heat creeping up his neck. "No, it's not a project," Rosa said, her voice gaining strength. "I'm just trying to share what I love." The determination in her face was refreshing, lifting Marcus's spirits a little. He admired her courage. "Right. And how's that working out?" Ray chuckled lightly, making it sound like a joke. It was that same laugh Marcus had heard too many times before, a laugh that cut deep but also stirred a need to defend what was real. "Rosa is showcasing her jewelry this weekend at the craft market," Marcus interjected quickly, stepping in front of her. It felt natural, protective. "She's incredibly talented. We're putting something special together." Ray's eyebrows shot up, and he took a step back, bemusement replacing his previous bravado. "Jewelry? At a craft market? Bold move, my friend." There was something condescending in his tone, the kind of dismissal that made Marcus' blood boil. Rosa glanced to the side, biting her lip, the weight of Ray's words threatening to tether her down. Marcus could see the shadow of doubt creeping back into her eyes, and it felt like a punch to his gut. "Sometimes the boldest moves are the ones that take us out of our comfort zones," Marcus said sharply, a flicker of desperation igniting his voice. "This isn't just about business, it's about giving someone a chance to share their passion." Ray shrugged, a smirk creeping back. "Passion doesn't pay the bills, Marcus. You know that. You need to be realistic." Marcus stood taller, felt the weight of Ray's old world pushing against him. But he refused to bend. "And you don't realize that sometimes it's about more than that. Look, if you're here for something beyond small talk, maybe you should support your friends instead." "Charming," Ray replied, crossing his arms, "but let us be real. You're a billionaire with a pristine image, you're not a dreamer." Rosa shifted uncomfortably, her hope suddenly feeling fragile under Ray's scrutiny. The moment hung between them like a pendulum, threatening to swing towards despair. But just as Marcus thought he might lose her, he felt her fingertips brush against his hand, grounding him. "Ray," she began, her voice trembling only slightly, "this matters to me. It's my heart. I'm not looking for validation, just a chance to share with those who appreciate it." It was as if the storm around them quieted down, and in that heartfelt moment, Marcus realized just how brave Rosa truly was. Ray opened his mouth, probably to retort with something judgmental, but paused instead, measuring something in her gaze. "If you say so," he finally replied, his tone less mocking, though a hint of doubt lingered. As Ray moved back toward the cafe entrance, Marcus took a deep breath, feeling the tension release a little. There was still a battle ahead, and as they both stood, letting their shoulders drop, he saw in Rosa's eyes that flame of hope reignite. But in the back of his mind, unease lingered like a cloud that wouldn't disperse. With uncertainty swirling around them, how could he keep the momentum alive without yielding to the past? "Just remember," he said softly, squeezing her hand again, "we are building something worthwhile." Rosa nodded slowly, a little smile returning to her lips. "Together," she echoed. Yet, even as they stepped back into the sun-drenched street, the confidence they shared was tinged with a question lingering in the air: what would happen if the world outside proved too harsh for their fragile leap of faith? Marcus and Rosa walked side by side, the bustling street filled with pedestrians who barely noticed their quiet exchange. The sun shone brightly, but within Marcus, a shadow lingered. He looked at Rosa, so vibrant and alive as she recounted her ideas for the craft market. Her excitement was infectious, yet he couldn't shake the sense of impending dread that followed Ray's mocking comments. "Did you see that look on his face?" Rosa laughed, shaking her head. "It's like he couldn't believe we were serious about this. I almost felt sorry for him, lost in his world of suits and deals." "Right?" Marcus replied, a small smile creeping onto his face. "But we're not backing down. Not now." They reached a small park, an oasis amidst the urban chaos. Rosa suggested they take a moment to breathe, and as they sat on a bench, surrounded by blooming flowers and chirping birds, Marcus felt a hint of reassurance settling in. "Do you think we can make it?" Rosa's voice was barely above a whisper, but it hung heavily in the air. He turned to her, studying the determination in her eyes. "We are going to make it. Trust me." Rosa smiled, but a trace of uncertainty laced her expression. "Ray was right about one thing, you know. Passion doesn't pay the bills." "True. But it's a start. We'll figure out the rest together." He took a breath, holding her gaze. "When you're doing something you love, it shows. It attracts people. And attracting the right people can lead to the opportunities we need." She nodded, the weight of her dreams seeming to settle heavier. "What if no one cares about my jewelry? What if it's just another stall at another market?" "Then we'll make them care," he said fiercely, surprising himself with the intensity of his conviction. "Your creations speak for themselves, Rosa. Every time you put something out there, you share a part of yourself. That's powerful." As she looked away, a soft smile began curling at her lips, but doubt was still lurking in her eyes. "Thanks, Marcus. I hope I don't disappoint you." "Never," he promised. "You could never disappoint me." Just then, a commotion caught their attention at the far end of the park. A crowd had gathered, murmurs and laughter rising in excitement. Marcus spotted a street performer drawing attention with an impressive juggling act, colorful scarves twirling through the air. Rosa's eyes lit up, the momentary shadow of worry dissolving. "It looks like fun," she exclaimed, grabbing Marcus's hand and pulling him towards the crowd. They wove through the sea of enthusiastic spectators, the energy electric. Marcus reveled in her joy, feeling something inside him crack open. Maybe moments like this were what they needed: comfort in spontaneity, connection with one another away from judgment. As the performer finished with a flourish, the crowd erupted into applause, faces brightened with laughter and wonder. When Rosa clapped her hands together excitedly, Marcus felt his heart swell. Her spirit, her passion, made him think of the jewelry. Each piece she created had its own life, just like the performer had with his tricks. But just as the laughter relaxed the tension in Marcus's mind, something pulled at the edges of his thoughts: the nagging worry about Ray's dismissal. It was hard to fully shake off that kind of doubt, especially when it was rooted in his past. "Hey," he said suddenly, pulling her back from the crowd's excitement, "let's promise each other something." "Sure. What is it?" "If we encounter negativity, let's laugh it off instead of letting it get to us. Deal?" "Deal." She grinned, squeezing his hand with newfound conviction. But just as they turned back to the festivities, a stranger approached them, his expression unexpectedly serious. "Excuse me," he said, looking directly at Marcus, "I couldn't help but overhear. Are you the Marcus Wren?" Confusion hit Marcus first, and he glanced at Rosa, her brow furrowing in concern. "Depends. Who wants to know?" The stranger smiled faintly, but it didn't reach his eyes. "I think you might be the person I've been looking for." As Marcus braced himself for whatever was about to unfold, Rosa's hand slipped from his grip, the uncertainty of this sudden turn weighing heavy like an impending storm. What was coming next? The stranger's gaze pierced through the cheerful atmosphere around them, slicing through the laughter and applause as if they were layers of glass. Marcus felt the world shift, the sunlight dimming, becoming irrelevant in the face of this unexpected confrontation. "I'm sorry, but who are you?" he asked again, the tentative edge in his voice hinting at his unease. The man straightened up, folding his arms across his chest. "My name is Lucas. I'm with a startup that focuses on crafting high-quality, bespoke items. I overheard you talking about your jewelry and, well, I think you might be exactly what we need." Rosa squeezed his arm, her hope flickering like the sunlight filtering through the leaves. "What do you mean?" she interjected, her excitement bubbling just under the surface. Lucas nodded, visibly softening. We're holding an event next month aimed at local artisans. I saw what you were showcasing online, and I believe your designs could stand out in our market. Imagine showcasing your work to an audience that appreciates craftsmanship. Marcus watched Rosa's expression transform, her sparkling eyes filled with a mixture of disbelief and budding excitement. But he couldn't shake the feeling that there had to be a catch. What's the catch? Marcus countered, skepticism creeping into his tone. Why us? Lucas stepped closer, lowering his voice as if sharing a secret. It's simple, really. We're seeking authenticity in a world trying too hard to be polished. Your pieces tell a story, Rosa. I think they could resonate with people in a way that mass-produced items never could. Rosa's lips parted, but Marcus interrupted before she could respond. And do you really think there's enough interest to warrant a spot in your event? It just seems too good to be true. Lucas shrugged slightly, adjusting the collar of his jacket. Listen, I wouldn't waste my time if I didn't believe in your potential. But you need to make a decision soon. We're finalizing participants in a week. Marcus felt the weight of the moment settle in. He glanced sideways at Rose, whose excitement had flickered back to life, eyes dancing at the idea of sharing her creativity with a larger audience. And yet, Ray's taunts echoed in his mind, agitating the doubts he tried to suppress. What if they failed? Can we think about it? Rosa asked, her voice shaking slightly, pulled by eagerness and the weight of responsibility. We want to be sure, of course, Lucas replied, backing away slowly, a slight smile on his face. Just reach out when you're ready. I hope to see both of you there. He turned, slipping into the crowd as quickly as he had appeared, leaving behind a lingering question. Well? Rosa whispered, her breathless enthusiasm barely contained, what do you think, Marcus? What do I think? Marcus echoed, uncertainty wrapping tightly around his chest. I think it's a big opportunity. But the stakes are high. What if it doesn't go the way we hope? She paused, the joy dimming slightly. Or what if it does? What if this is the moment everything changes? The vision of her standing confidently in front of curious faces filled with awe made him realize that the stakes were important, but so was the belief in her talent. I want you to pursue this, Marcus said, the words tumbling out with more energy than he expected. But no buts, Marcus. She cut him off gently, understanding clear in her eyes. We sometimes need to leap without knowing what's below. You promised we'd support each other, remember? As the distant sounds of laughter and street performance returned to fill the air, Marcus felt the doubts shift, blending with a budding sense of hope. Okay, he said at last, a smile creeping onto his face. Let us do it. She grinned, her spirit igniting the air around them. But as they turned to leave, a knot of curiosity remained, an unanswered question echoing in Marcus's mind. Could they truly turn their dreams into reality, or was this just the beginning of another hurdle to leap over? With their hearts racing and the stakes set, Marcus couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the brink of something significant. Days passed as anticipation built like a storm cloud over Rosa's dreams. Each conversation with Marcus morphed into discussions about designs, colors, and features, the what-ifs of their impending opportunity swirling around them. Look at this piece, Rosa said one evening, excitement edging her voice as she held up a delicate silver necklace that mimicked the curves of a fern. I think it captures so much of what I love about nature. Marcus smiled, feeling the weight of her enthusiasm. It's beautiful. But what if someone thinks it's too different? Different is good. She replied, eyes ablaze with passion. That's what set us apart. It's all about telling a story, Marcus. But as the days turned into a week, doubt still clawed at Marcus's gut. What if the world wasn't ready for her art? What if no one showed up at the event? The questions circled relentlessly in his mind, chipping away at his optimism. The day of the decision arrived. They stood by the window, the morning sun washing over them, illuminating the stacks of sketches and rough drafts scattered across the table. The phone lay between them, charged and waiting for Rosa to hit send on an email they drafted days before. Maybe we shouldn't rush. Marcus hesitated, his heart pounding. His fear smothered his hope like a heavy blanket. Stop. Rosa said, meeting his eyes with intensity. This isn't about rushing. It's about believing in what we can do together. Her energy was infectious, but Marcus felt the weight of responsibility. Okay, but it's also about being realistic. It's one thing to dream, another to be practical. Rosa's confidence dimmed a notch, and for a moment, he noticed the faint spark of doubt in her expression. You think I can't do this? Marcus shook his head rapidly. No. It's not about you. It's about us and taking that leap together. She stared at him, frustration washing over her face. But what if you're the one pulling away? What if my dreams matter less to you? No, Rosa. It's not that at all. He pleaded, stepping closer. I just want to protect us from failure. Failure isn't the end, Marcus. It's a step, she insisted, her passion igniting again. If we never try, we'll never know what's possible. As they faced each other, their emotions rampaging like waves crashing against rocks, Marcus felt a rush of understanding. Okay, let us do it, he said, his voice steady. I'm with you. Always. Relief flooded his words. Rosa smiled, warmth spreading across her features. Then help me choose the pieces. We need only the best for the event. For the next hour, they dove into a whirlwind of creativity, laughing, arguing, and balancing each other's ideas. Each piece she showed him made his heart soar, and he found himself caught up in her artistic vision. As midnight approached, they finally settled on a selection that felt right. This is it, he proclaimed, admiration shining in his eyes. Rosa beamed, and in that moment, her dream didn't seem too big at all. With trembling fingers, she typed the final message on her phone before pressing send. Done, she breathed, releasing a breath she didn't know she had been holding. They stood together, the air humming with a mix of excitement and anxiety, but something else settled in that unshakable sense of unity. Just then, a loud knock echoed through the apartment, shattering the vibrant moment. The abrupt sound sent Marcus's heart racing. Who could that be? Rosa looked startled, sharing his concern as she edged toward the door. They exchanged uncertain glances, their earlier elation tinged with a fresh wave of worry. What if it's someone expecting us? She whispered, anxiety creeping back in. I'll check, Marcus said, his voice firm as he cautiously approached the door, anticipation rippling through him. He opened it to find a familiar face that caught him off guard. Before he could speak, the stranger grinned wide, eyes sparkling with recognition. I hope I'm not interrupting anything. As Marcus took in the unexpected visitor, an intriguing mix of emotions swirled within him. This was not just a coincidence, this moment beckoned with possibilities layered deeper than he had anticipated. What are you doing here? He asked, curiosity and unease battling inside him. Rosa moved aside, peering over his shoulder, puzzled but intrigued by who stood in their doorway. Little did they know, this encounter would set off a chain of events neither of them could foresee, drawing them farther into a world that would challenge everything they believed about themselves. What now? Rosa murmured, her intrigue palpable as she stepped back, leaving the door ajar for whatever would come next. The stranger stepped into the apartment with a confident air, a whirlwind of energy that felt almost electric. It's been a while, he said, his tone light but with an undercurrent of seriousness that made Marcus's stomach twist. Marcus blinked, trying to place the face that seemed both familiar and foreign at the same time. Then the memory clicked, Liam, an old friend from college. They had taken different paths after graduation. Liam into the tech world, hitting one success after another, and Marcus choosing a quieter life. "What is going on?" Marcus managed, trying to keep his voice steady while the unexpected reunion sent his thoughts tumbling. "I was in the neighborhood and thought I'd drop by. Figured it would be a nice surprise," Liam said, the corners of his mouth curving into a teasing grin. "And it looks like I picked the right time." Rosa shifted beside Marcus, her confusion mixed with curiosity. "I didn't know you two were friends," she said, glancing at Marcus as if searching for the missing pieces of their shared history. "Yeah, back in the day we were inseparable," Marcus replied, attempting to catch up with the unfolding moment. "How have you been, Liam?" "Oh, busy conquering the corporate world," Liam chuckled, but there was a true lightness that danced in his eyes. "Helping tech companies go public, giving speeches, and you know how it goes." "And what about you?" Liam's gaze was direct, sharp. He shifted his weight to the other side, crossing his arms. "Still playing it safe with the career? Or have you finally taken a leap of faith?" Marcus felt the words wrapping around him, questions he himself had wrestled with in quiet moments. "I've got some projects in the works," he replied, somewhat evasively. Liam's smile softened into sincerity. "Look, I get it. You've got your life, but I can offer you an opportunity that could change everything. I'm launching a startup focused on sustainable practices, and I could use someone I trust." The room fell silent. Rosa's eyebrow shot up, and Marcus felt a thrill of excitement mixed with panic. Could this be the break he had been waiting for, a chance to find a new path? But Marcus began, the weight of doubt pulling him back. "What about the event Rosa has planned?" The glimmer in Liam's eyes faded. "I see it's about loyalty, right? But don't let your friends hold you back. You can't grow if you don't break out of your shell." He glanced at Rosa, who stood silently, taking in the tension. "You have potential, Marcus. You're an amazing designer. Don't settle." Rosa's expression turned from intrigue to determination. "He's right, You shouldn't ignore an opportunity just because you're afraid." "Rosa," Marcus said, his voice low. "This is your dream. I can't just abandon it for something unknown." "You won't abandon it," she insisted, her eyes clear and unwavering. "This could open doors for both of us. We can support each other and still find our way." The weight of her words hit him hard. Could this be their moment? A pathway that intertwined their dreams rather than dividing them? Liam's gaze shifted back to Marcus, waiting for a response. The air buzzed with anticipation, the weight of choices resting heavily on him. "Think about it," Liam urged gently. "No pressure. Just know the door is open." As he stepped back, letting the air settle after his bold proposal, Marcus felt the push and pull of everything he cared about. Rosa's dream, his own uncertain future, and the distant glimmer of a chance to leap into something greater. What if this was where everything shifted, not just for him, but for Rosa too? "What are you going to do, Marcus?" Rosa asked, her voice steady yet soft, pulling him out of his spiraling thoughts. With his mind racing, he realized he needed to make a choice, one that could redefine their paths forever. The moment felt charged with possibilities, yet anything could happen next. Marcus's heart raced, thrumming against his ribcage like a drum, as he turned to face Rosa. The air around them felt dense with expectations, and the unspoken words hung in the space between them. "Rosa," he began, unsure of his direction, but her steady gaze anchored him. In her eyes, he could see a mix of excitement and fear, the same look he felt when he gazed at the blank canvas that was his life. "Take a moment," she said, cutting through the tension with her soft voice. "Let it breathe." He nodded, taking a breath that felt heavy in his chest. The excitement in Liam's offer clashed with the warmth of the life he had built with Rosa, days spent sketching designs for her future events, the dreams they had made together over countless cups of coffee at their little kitchen table. "Why not take it?" Liam pressed, crossing his arms. His presence loomed, but Marcus wasn't sure if it was as an ally or a rival. "Because this is Rosa's chance too," he exclaimed, the words flowing out before he could filter them. "I can't just leave that behind. Her event is important. It's a stepping stone for her, a chance to show what she can do." "But what if this could be everything for you, Marcus?" Liam pushed back, his tone earnest. "You've held yourself back for too long. You don't have to choose a path that limits you, even if it means stepping away from plans you believe are already set." Silence engulfed the room again. The only sound was the ticking clock in the corner, counting down each precious second. Rosa stepped closer to Marcus. "We can find a way to make it work," she said, her voice a soothing melody against the hum of uncertainty. "You're not leaving me behind. If anything, this could elevate both of us." "Elevate?" Marcus echoed, feeling the stirrings of hope, battling with the weight of obligation. "What if it all falls apart?" Liam's expression softened. "If it falls apart, you'll have the experience, knowledge, and resilience to build something new. But if you don't try, you'll always wonder what if." Suddenly, the walls felt like they were closing in. He could see the crossroad stretching out before him, one path filled with familiar comforts, the other a winding road into the unknown, tinged with possibility. "What do you want, Marcus?" Rosa asked, her voice cutting through the fog. "Do you want safety or do you crave something more?" He looked into her eyes, searching for answers, but found only the reflection of his own conflict. "I don't want to fail, Rosa. I don't want to risk everything." "But you can only fail if you don't try," she persisted gently, but firmly. "You are more than your fears. I believe in you." That spark of belief ignited something within him. He felt the old flame of ambition flicker to life, drowning out the shadows of doubt. "What if we take a chance together?" he asked, almost to himself. The thought had formed like a whisper, but as it echoed in his mind, it felt louder and surer. Liam's eyes brightened. "There's the spirit. Listen, you could start part-time with me, smell the roses of entrepreneurship without diving in head first. Plus, I'm sure I could help enhance your designs in the process." Marcus turned to Rosa, and she offered him a small, encouraging smile. "We can figure out a plan that works for both of us." The anxious energy in him began to shift. A flutter of excitement joined the rising tension, squeezing him tight but in a way that felt alive. He was at a turning point, nestled between two dreams, not a choice of one over the other, but a merge of ambition and love. "Okay," he said finally, feeling the thrill of surrendering to the unknown. "Let us do it." "Really?" Rosa's eyes widened, sparkling with happiness. "Yeah, really," he replied, grinning. The moment felt monumental, as though the universe had shifted, aligning stars in a constellation just for them. But just as relief washed over him, the phone in his pocket buzzed with a sudden urgency. He pulled it out, and his heart sank as he saw the screen light up with a familiar name: his mother. "Oh, guess I have to take this," he said, glancing between Rosa and Liam, the gravity of what lay ahead settling back around him. "I'll be right back." He stepped away, uncertainty creeping back into view. As he answered the call, he wondered what new challenges awaited him. Little did he know, this call could change everything once again. Marcus stepped into the brightly lit hallway, making sure to keep his voice low and steady. He didn't want Rosa or Liam to overhear the contents of the conversation that was about to unfold. Taking a deep breath, he pressed the phone to his ear. "Hey, Mom," he said, a wave of unease washing over him at the sound of her voice. There was something in her tone that hinted at news he wasn't ready for, a mixture of urgency and tenderness. "Marcus. I'm so glad you answered. I know you're busy now, but I need to talk to you," she said, and he could almost hear the weight of her words pressing against his heart. "Is everything okay?" he asked, a knot tightening in his stomach. "It's about your father. The doctors called. They found something." Her words hung in the air, heavy and unyielding. Marcus swallowed hard, feeling the chill of dread creep up his spine. What do you mean? What did they find? They're going to run more tests. But it could be serious, honey. I didn't want you to hear this from anyone else. The floor felt unsteady beneath him. This was the news he had feared for years, the kind that flips your world upside down in an instant. Should I come home? Yes. We may need your help planning how to move forward. But don't rush. Just take a breath, just don't worry until we know more. Easier said than done, he thought, feeling the walls of his new horizon start to constrict again. He pressed his eyes shut, trying to absorb the weight of the conversation. His future, the blossoming opportunity with Liam, felt like a delicate card house, unstable against the gusts of reality. Marcus, his mom interrupted his thoughts, her voice gentle. I just want you to know that whatever happens, you've always been your father's pride and joy. He talks about you all the time. You're doing great things with your life, and we love you. I love you too, Mom, he replied, his voice thick with a wavering emotion. He hung up feeling hollow, grappling with the echoes of their conversation. As he returned to the living room, Marcus took a moment to collect himself. Rosa and Liam were engaged in a conversation, their laughter brushing over him like a bomb. Hey, you alright? Rosa asked the moment she saw his face. Her concern cut straight through him. Yeah. Just, family stuff. He couldn't quite meet her gaze, his mind spinning with thoughts of support and the friction of hope and fear. Marcus sat down, the weight of his decision looming larger than ever. Listen, if you need to go, Rosa began, but he held up his hand to stop her. No, I need to be here. I made a choice, and I think I need to stick with it. Even as he said the words, uncertainty twisted in his gut. Was he being brave or foolish? Liam chimed in, sensing the tension. Why don't we take a break? Grab some coffee and talk it out. A fresh mind could help. Yeah, coffee sounds good. It felt grounding, pulling him away from spiraling thoughts. As they headed to the cafe, Marcus debated whether to share the news with Rosa. Her belief in him felt like an anchor, but the weight of his family concerns threatened to drag him under. What if sharing only added to her worries? But hidden away, he felt cornered, and he wanted to be transparent. Their future was intertwined, yet the gulf of family struggles loomed in the background. Amidst sipping coffee and laughter, he resolved to find a way to step into this new chapter without letting go of the ones that mattered. Yet, in the shadows of uncertainty, another thought crept in. What if the world he was about to dive into, marked by ambition and dreams, could crumble with the slightest upheaval? As they settled into their discussions, he knew one thing for certain: the next call to home might not be the easier one he hoped for. What other storms were brewing, and how would they reshape everything he thought was secure? The week leading up to the craft market passed in a blur of excitement and nerves. Marcus kept flashing between exhilarated moments at the prospect of supporting Rosa and the looming shadows of uncertainty regarding his family. Each time he felt lifted by their shared dreams and laughter, a sudden worry would slice through, reminding him of his father's condition and the potential impact it could have on everything he was building. Rosa was a force of nature, pouring her heart into the final pieces as they prepared for the event. She would often catch him staring, entranced by the passion and clarity on her face as she worked, punctuating every beaded assembly with anecdotes of the stories behind each design. This one, she would say, holding up a vibrant bracelet, it's all about resilience. Just like us. Marcus nodded, swallowing hard, wanting to share how that very resilience had become a lifeline for him. He wanted to reveal the weight of the family troubles wrapping tighter around his chest, but with each chuckle and shared dream, he couldn't bring himself to taint that joy. Saturday dawned bright and clear, the kind of day that felt alive with possibility. They arrived at the market early, the air bubbling with excitement as vendors set up their stalls. There was an intoxicating buzz, filled with the aromas of fresh coffee and baked goods, mingling with the chatter of eager customers and families exploring the vibrant atmosphere. "Are you ready for this?" Marcus asked, shooting Rosa a quick grin as he helped her set up her booth, which was adorned with colorful tablecloths and her stunning creations. She beamed, her confidence wrapping around her like a warm cloak. "Absolutely. This is our moment." Just then, a group of potential buyers drifted toward them, curiosity etched on their faces. Marcus felt a jolt of energy coursing through him as Rosa greeted them with a radiant smile, her natural charisma effortlessly drawing them in. "Welcome. Take a look at these pieces, each one tells a story," she said, her excitement tangible. Marcus watched as she explained her designs, her hands animatedly reflecting tales of love and tenacity, all the concrete battles hidden beneath delicate craftsmanship. But just as things began to unfold, Marcus's phone buzzed in his pocket. He glanced at the screen, and his heart sank. It was a message from his mother. "Please call when you can, it's urgent." His breath hitched. Why hadn't she just called? What was happening? With a heavy heart, he tucked the phone away, trying to shake the growing fear that wrapped around him. He glanced back at Rosa, immersed in her passion, filled with an undeniable force. "Everything okay?" she asked, her keen eyes missing nothing. He hesitated, torn between the worlds pulling at him. "Just family stuff, nothing to worry about right now," he lied, forcing a weak smile. The hours flowed by in a delightful haze of conversation and laughter, but the weight of his mother's text loomed ever present. Each moment Rosa was thriving brought him joy and dread, feeling like a silent spectator to his own life. Suddenly, a woman approached their booth, eyes wide with delight. She picked up one of Rosa's pieces, a beautifully crafted necklace, reflecting an intricate dance of colors in the sun. "This is stunning. How much?" Rosa's face lit up. "Thank you. That piece is inspired by the changing seasons, symbolizing renewal." The woman's eyes sparkled. "I have to have it. It speaks to me." Just as Rosa began to ring her up, Marcus felt another buzz from his phone. It was his mother again. With a sigh, he stepped away, unable to handle the crushing weight of decisions, fear, and possibility. It all felt fragile. He leaned against the market stall, heart racing, and dialed. "Mom?" he said, as the phone connected. "Marcus, it's bad," she said, her voice trembling. "They found something serious. I think you should come home soon." Tears stung his eyes, and he was abruptly thrust back into the gravity of family. "I'm coming, Mom. I'll be there." As he hung up, he took a moment to gather himself. The marketplace buzzed with life around him, but his world felt like it had stopped spinning. He turned to see Rosa through a blur, selling another piece, her smile radiant. But this time, it felt unbearable. He had to tell her. She deserved to know who she was fighting alongside. With every step back toward her, the internal war raged. Fear of burdening her with his troubles clashed with the undeniable truth that they were in this together. "Hey, Rosa," he began, his voice steadier than he felt. "Can we talk?" The smile on her face faded slightly, replaced with concern. "What's wrong?" He reached for her hand, squeezing it tightly. "I just got off the phone with my mom. They found something concerning with my dad. I don't know how to process this right now, but I want you to know." For a heartbeat, the world around them fell silent, her eyes searching his. "Oh, Marcus," she whispered, wrapping their fingers together. "I'm here for you. Whatever you need." Her words were a lifeline, cutting through the darkness he felt swirling inside. He nodded, the storm inside settling to a soft rain. And then, with her voice steady and warm, she said, "We'll face this together. You're not alone." Just then, a flood of warmth enveloped him, as if a community had gathered at their side. The market, the laughter, even the uncertainty of what lay ahead, it all opened possibilities. "Thank you, Rosa," he breathed, the vulnerability between them deepening. "You're my strength, you know that?" Her smile returned, and together they turned back to the market bustling around them. As they took in the vibrancy of life, he felt hope start to blossom amidst the clouds, as bright as the sun spilling through the market's awning. Together, they could face whatever storm came next. As customers began to flock to their booth, drawn in by Rosa's radiant spirit, he felt the weight dissipate just a little. Hand in hand, they would navigate the uncertainty, one piece of jewelry, one shared moment, at a time. This wasn't just the beginning of Rosa's dreams, it was the start of a new chapter for them both, a tale interweaved with struggles, triumphs, and an unshakable belief in one another. "Let us make this a day to remember," he said, determination fueling his heart. And, for the first time in a long while, he believed it could be true. You need to subscribe now to our channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and comment your thoughts and feelings about this incredible finale. Don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Embrace the journey with us and let us keep inspiring one another.